Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma. So I want to welcome everybody on board this morning. Okay, please kindly mute your device. I'm hearing some background noise there. All right, so today is a Friday, the 20th of September, 2024. And this is PU Prime, and we're having the morning analysis. Good morning, Mr. Lasisi Onyeye, and every other person on board. All right, so today we have quite some very important events. Just some minutes ago, the GDP retail sales already took place. Actual came out greater than forecast, and that has led to some slight bullish movement on the GBP pairs. There's going to be Bank of Japan press conference, but it's tentative. When an event is tentative, it means it can happen anytime within the day. No specific time has been allocated to it. So that also tells us that we should be careful of the JPY pairs because of this Bank of Japan press conference. We don't know how the kind of impact it will have on the Japanese yen pairs. When I mean Japanese yen pairs, I'm talking about USD JPY, AUD JPY, Euro JPY, GBP JPY, CAD JPY, and CHF JPY. So we should take a lot of caution trading these instruments today since there is a fundamental event around it. Now, by 1:15 p.m., there's going to be Bank of Canada Bank of Canada Macklem is going to give a speech. That's by 1:15 p.m. And also by 1:30 p.m., there'll be core retail sales from Canada and also retail sales. 4 p.m., the European Central Bank President Lagarde will give a speech. And by 7 p.m., FOMC member Aka will give a speech. So tentatively, there is no specific event for this morning, except for the JPY pairs JPY Bank of Japan conference that we are not sure of the exact time. The only event for this morning session, which is the GBP, has been released, except for the other events which took place in the night. That's the Bank of Japan policy rate, and monetary policy statement. That one happened in the night while we were still sleeping right here in Nigeria. So I'll flip over now to the technicals to look at what we have technically for today, since we don't have any fundamental event anymore for this morning. So I'll flip over now to my MetaTrader platform. All right, this morning I'll start by looking at the BTC USD. Now the BTC, if we go to the daily time frame, I've heard a bearish outlook on the BTC for some days, even though it has not been compliant, but it looks like possibly the wait is almost over. Maybe we should be getting ready for a decline in BTC. Please take note of my choice of words. We don't control the market. We only trade based on our knowledge and experience. On the daily time frame, I can see that there is a downtrend on BTC USD. And this is the third time price is touching the trend line. So we should be expecting a bounce. And coincidentally, at that same level, we equally have a resistance. So we have a descending trend line, a resistance, then there's even a kind of a support here, which turned resistance on the other end. So we're looking at what looks a lot like a kind of a confluence on the BTC USD, which, will lead us to a possible bearish movement on this instrument. So that's on the daily time frame. If we flip down to the 1 hour, what I'm seeing on 1 hour is you can see at the point of that confluence, there is a rejection candle. Let me zoom it bigger so that you can see. The last 1 hour was a rejection candle. Yeah, it's not really touching, but very close. It's very close. It's because the buyers are pushing the price down. That's why we found a rejection candle at that same spot. So on the 1 hour, we have a rising wedge pattern. On the daily, we have a trend line, a descending trend line. We have a resistance. And on 1 hour, we have a rising wedge. And I'm seeing a pattern here that is in formation that looks possibly like the formation of a head and shoulder pattern, which hopefully will lead to a bearish breakout on BTC USD. So I hold a bearish projection on BTC USD for today. Now, before I leave this, we should also note that if this turns out to be a head and shoulder, then this will be the neckline. So if price breaks out below this, sorry, I didn't draw that well, shoulder, head, second shoulder, and we should expect a breakout. So the main price breaks out below the neckline. If you want to trigger a sell, you can, though there's a bigger sell again when price breaks out below this trend line, for a further continuation. But either way, I hold a bearish outlook on BTC USD for today. And the next instrument I want to look at is the GBP card. Now, I said it just some minutes ago. Price, there was a news from the United Kingdom, which came out actual greater than forecast. And that news actually pushed GBP card. I've been watching this instrument for a while. As of yesterday, as of last night, it was about 40 pips, 40 to 50 pips, to hitting the monthly resistance. And the news this morning just, made the move to happen because price eventually hit the monthly resistance level. There's a resistance here on the monthly time frame, and that is where price is. So if you missed the news by 7 a.m. and you don't trade it, there's nothing to worry. See, I always tell people there will always be another trade. That's the truth. The market is not going anywhere. So if I thought you miss an opportunity, don't feel so pained as if it's something really big. There will be another opportunity, you know. So if we missed that, because as at 7 a.m., we had not even started the class. We started a little late this morning. But then the move happened. The news came out actually greater than forecast. Dollar pairs went bullish. But then the bullish movement just pushed our GDP card to the place where I've been anticipating a reversal for a little while from now. So now price is now trading at that resistance level on the monthly time frame. So you can see on the daily, on the 4-hour, price is just exactly on that level. So if price hits a resistance, generally what we're expecting is a reversal. And this one being a monthly time frame, it's a very big one. We're expecting a reversal. Now, we should not also neglect the fact that there's going to be a card news in the afternoon. So this can give us a heads up as to what to expect for the card news in the afternoon. So if price is already at a resistance level here, that means that if the news, the retail sales from Canada in the afternoon, if it comes out in such a way that the actual is greater than the forecast, then that will lead to a decline, in GBP card. So I hold a bearish outlook on GBP card for today, while we anticipate the release of the economic data retail sales from Canada later this afternoon by 1:15 p.m. And this possible bearish movement is cited across most of the card pairs, because I'm seeing similar kind of reversal pattern also, trying to form on the New Zealand card. The New Zealand card. Now, for the New Zealand card, on the daily time frame, weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, we can see price descending, on a trend line. You can see a descent, price on the trend line downwards, indicating a possible bearish movement. And on the daily time frame, that coincides with a resistance level. Price also made a resistance at this confluence point. We also have a resistance there. And if we flip down, let's not take our time to 1 hour. This is what we have on the 1 hour time frame. We have a rising wedge pattern and expecting price to decline. Now, price looks a lot like it's trying to form a shoulder, a head, possibly a second shoulder, then a decline. So you can see that the JPY pairs are getting ready for the news in the afternoon. Yeah, because fundamentals actually controls the market. So if on the fundamental side, the news comes out actual greater than forecast, that means we're expecting a decline on GBP card and New Zealand card later this afternoon. So let's just let's take note of that as we approach the New York session when the data will be released. Then I'll look at the US oil. Now for the US oil, on the daily time frame, let me remove all this so that I can explain it better to us. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see. Now, even before we go to the daily time frame, I remember at the beginning of the week, I told us that I held a bullish outlook on the US oil. I said I was bullish on the US oil. Why was I bullish on the US oil? Because price, hit a support zone and closed on the support zone last week, forming a rejection candle. And when you have a reaction as support, is indicative of a bullish movement. So from that analysis, US oil was able to make a bullish breakout this week, just in line with my analysis at the beginning of the week. I clearly said this was forming an inverse head and shoulder, and you can see it already pushed price. It pushed price to about 300 pips, because I did the calculation. We had the 300 pip movement on US oil, right at the beginning of the week up till now. But then currently, price now hit a support turned resistance level, or let me say zone. The bullish movement has, been implemented as, as analyzed. Now we have a support zone, a support zone, a support zone. Now price broke through that support to turn resistance, and the next movement we should be expecting is, a downward movement, a bearish movement. So we can go now to the 1 hour time frame. And on the 1 hour time frame, what we have here, we have a trend line there. We have a second trend line, forming a rising wedge. So we have a support on resistance on the daily. We have a rising wedge on the 1 hour. Now there's a third view, a third something else I'm also looking at, which may evolve in the course of today, all things being equal. It all depends on if the market will move that way. I'm seeing a trend line on the 4 hour time frame right here. So it's not a must anyway, but let's just see how the market evolves. If this works out, it will give additional layer of information. If price goes up to test this trend line, that will give another confirmation of a reversal. But so far, so good. With the support on resistance and the rising wedge, it's good enough for us to expect a decline. But if you have further confirmation, the better. But then either ways, I still hold a bearish outlook on the US oil for today. Then I look at about two other instruments, and I'll attend to questions. And one is the USDJPY. Now for the USDJPY, price currently is trading, yeah, on the one side, this looks a lot like an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which will give a bullish breakout. But then today's Friday, I can clearly see we have a support turn resistance, which should lead to a decline, and likely because the candle for yesterday closed as a rejection candle. So that will likely help push price downward further. And that's on the daily time frame. So if you flip down to the 1 hour, on the 1 hour time frame, this is what I can see on the USDJPY. Price currently is testing the trend line. Now, when price is touching the trend line and is bouncing, we say it's testing it. Now, the moment price is able to break out below this level, it will be a time to trigger a sell on the USDJPY, because we have a support on resistance on the daily time frame, and we're expecting a breakout on the 1 hour. Now we have a minor support zone here also. So if price breaks out, currently it's trying to retrace, but if price breaks out below this level, then it will be a time to trigger a sell on the USDJPY. Now, there are quite a number of setup on the JPY pairs. Don't forget I said we should be cautious the JPY pairs because, because of the conference that is coming up today that does not have any specific timing. But notwithstanding, that should not stop us from analyzing. We're just analyzing. There could be instability, but then just take caution. And the same pattern I found on the USD is also, available on the CHF JPY. For the CHF JPY, likewise, we have price hits a support zone, turn resistance, and what we should expect is a decline, all things being equal. So let's just be careful. Let's watch out for the event as it unfolds. But the most important thing is that if you are to take a sell on this one, just like the USJPY, we need to wait for price to clearly break out. Now we have a trend line over there. I also have a support zone right here. So you must wait for a new candle to break out below this support zone before you trigger a sell on the CHF JPY. All right, so that's all from my end this morning. I've analyzed about 6 instruments for us. I said I'm bearish on the BTC USD on 1 hour. I'm bearish on the GBP card on 1 hour also. I'm bearish on New Zealand card on 1 hour. I'm bearish on US oil on 1 hour. I'm bearish on USD JPY on 1 hour, and I'm bearish on the CHF JPY on 1 hour. So these are the instruments I've analyzed for today. I'll turn over now and attend to the requests that I have right on the screen. And after that, we should be able to close the class. Okay, so the first person is asking me to check on gold. And that's Joshua Okori. What's my view on gold? Now, gold has been unstable lately, and that's largely due to the fundamentals around wars happening in certain parts of the world, like Israel, Hamas, Russia, Ukraine war, and all those things. They've been causing some instability, in gold. Even I feel even the upcoming election in the US too is contributing to it. There's general economic instability everywhere. So all those are contributing to, gold. Now, but from my own technical angle, I do more technicals. I can see that gold is trying to form a rising wedge pattern on the daily time frame. And we've had a series of wave, uptrend. That's the higher high and higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. I believe the next wave should be a higher low, if the fundamental does not override it, because fundamental can actually override technicals in forex trading. But that's just my own view at the moment. So let's see how that works out. On the 4-hour, I remember saying earlier in the week that I expect price to decline first and go up, and that has happened. Now, what is going to happen on gold today will be dependent more on the news in the afternoon. There is a dollar, I think there's a dollar-based news. Okay, we don't have any dollar news today. Okay, it's the only one is the FOMC member Hacker, who's going to give a speech by 7 p.m. All right, that's still all good. So if price is able to, maintain at this level that it is on gold at the moment, then we may be expecting a decline, because that may end up forming a double top pattern. And this is what I said earlier, even when price was somewhere around here. I said I saw price dropping, going up, then dropping again. So it's already doing that move, just in line with my analysis. Now, that's why I say all things being equal, if there are no fundamentals that will override what is happening at the moment, then we might be expecting a possible decline. Now, at the moment, I'm not really seeing the clarity for a trade at the moment. Let me look closely. I'm not really seeing the clarity for a specific trade now. I'm only analyzing. So we don't really have a clear trade setup. Yeah, there's a slight resistance on 1 hour, but I want to be very careful with that. But let's just watch and see what happens in the course of today, if there will be a pattern that can evolve, which may lead us to, possibly looking out for a reversal to trade. But at the moment, I can't cite any clear one. But we can still watch out and see, all things being equal, If things work as planned, this should give us a double top pattern, which might now lead to, a bearish breakout later on, possibly today, maybe next week. It all depends on what the market is willing to give. Don't forget, we only trade what the market is willing to give. The market is the decider. It's a $7 trillion market. It's bigger than all of us. So I can see that I've drawn a trend line over there. I'll be waiting for further confirmations, that will help to trigger possibly a bearish, breakout on BTC USD. Technically, I hold a bearish outlook while we wait for a possible entry on BTC USD. Okay, this person is asking me to check Euro USD. All right, this is Euro USD. Let's start from the weekly time frame. Now, Euro USD is clearly trading around a resistance level on the weekly time frame. You can see it right here. We have this resistance, and price is just around that same level. So let's go to the daily. Yeah, that's where we are on the daily also. Yes, today's candle is not touching that resistance in reality, but the candle of Wednesday, which is this one, already touched that level. And today's candle can still possibly touch it. It's just some few pips away. Let's see, just about 10, 11 pips away. That can happen in a matter of minutes. Price may touch it. And if it touches it, we should be getting ready for a decline, in a Euro USD if that happens. Though on the 1 hour, we are already at a resistance level. So if price breaks out above this level to touch, then we expect a decline. Now, don't forget that we are actually bearish on the USD JPY. So that's where, some wisdom comes in when it comes to trading. You have a bearish outlook on USD JPY, and you have a possible bearish outlook on Euro USD, then you need to take a lot of caution. Though this Euro USD, even if it's going to sell, I personally believe it will first go to hit this resistance on the weekly before we see the decline. So that time it will go to hit the resistance. That might just be the time the USD JPY might have its own selling opportunity, before the Euro USD also now reverses. But the USD JPY is still tentative, pending the JPY events that we don't have a specific time for. But then in technical analysis, we trade what we see. We don't trade assumptions. So I believe there's going to be a push up here. Then we can now experience a decline on the Euro USD. So that's my view on Euro USD. Okay, that's for Mr. Sonny. I've given you my outlook on Euro USD. I've just looked at gold, Mr. Wari. There's no clear setup at the moment, but I anticipate a reversal with a double top pattern trying to form on the 4-hour time frame. Gold, it's like a lot of people like gold. Okay, I'll give you my view on gold. Administrator, this name scares me. This message, why not use your real name? Why are you being called administrator? New Zealand USD. Don't worry, whether your administrator will still attend to your request, but I think it's better you put your real name there so that we know you are not a bot, you are a real human being. Okay, so this is New Zealand USD. All right, so this is New Zealand USD. Let's go. Let's take it top down. From the weekly time frame, we can see we have a trend line descending downwards. And on the daily time frame, we have a valid resistance. Descending trend line resistance, that's everything is pointing us to a decline, in this instrument. And that's on 4-hour. This is 1 hour. So on 1 hour time frame, I actually anticipated this decline before FOMC, but FOMC just came and scattered a lot of things. This is the FOMC movement, just scattered a lot of. But I think market is coming down now after that FOMC breakout. All right, so I still hold my bearish outlook on the New Zealand USD. I still anticipate a decline in price and price breaking out below the trend line for us to take a sell on New Zealand USD. So I have a bearish outlook on the New Zealand USD. Samafani, please, how is the CNBC data used to trade US 30? Well, I will tell you that personally, I've not really put my eyes much on that. So maybe I'll do further research, on that. Emmanuel Uko, please look at NAS 100 and Euro USD. I think we mentioned Euro USD. We will hold a bearish outlook, but we believe price will hit the resistance first before dropping. Resistance on the weekly time frame before we see a decline on Euro USD. For NAS 100, price is in a range at the moment on NAS 100, but then let's see uh, what may still happen after now. You can see clearly that the market is in a range. Okay, this 15 minutes. All right, so let's look. Even it's still there on 1 hour, it's still a range. Let's see 4 hour daily. All right, so even though we're having a range, the lower time frame, on the daily time frame, price is trading at a resistance level. Let's see the weekly. Okay, still the same resistance. So we have a resistance level on the daily time frame. With a resistance level, what we can anticipate is a decline in price. So regardless of the fact that we have a range here, that should not stop us from looking for a bearish breakout on this instrument. So what I would suggest is that you can see I've made the range a little clearer. We have the resistance up there, the support. If price breaks out below the support, you can trigger a sell on NAS 100. And currently RSI is below 50. So that tells you that the market is getting really ready for a bearish movement on NAS 100. So I'm bearish on NAS 100. Macaulay Okelbo, pardon me if I didn't pronounce that well. You taught us on even number like gold, 26,000. What will it mean for gold? Okay, even number, I believe the class you're talking about is the psychological levels. So let's check out gold if there's a psychological level around gold. If there is, it may act as a resistance. Or you can see just some minutes after we've done the analysis, price is going high on gold. All right, let's see. 26,000. Okay. Price just hit that psychological level. All right. If all things work out, that may actually act as a resistance. That is if price is unable to break above that level. If price is unable to break above that level, then it may act as a resistance. And please take note, when it comes to trading, there's nothing that cannot be invalidated. So it's not a law that's, 100% of the time when price hits it, it must reverse. There's nothing like a must in trading, because trading is based on the forces of demand and supply. But then let's watch out what happens. The day is still young. It's just 7:51 a.m. The price seems to be shooting out above. But anything can still happen. If that level is going to hold, then it may just turn out to a rejection candle at the end of the day, and that may lead to a decline. So let's still keep our fingers crossed and watch what happens around this level. But I'll be happy if it really holds, because that will help us to clearly have a double top pattern, which will now lead to the bearish decline that we've been anticipating on gold. So let's keep our fingers crossed and watch. BTC USD, I already analyzed BTC USD. We're bearish on BTC USD. Okay, Mr. Batunila, I'll kindly keep your opinion on the war, personal. All right. So I would not appreciate this kind of posting. All right. I think I've attended to most of the questions there. Administrator is asking about AED, USD, GBP, JPY. All right, so that'll be all I will attend to, and we'll keep the class to an end. So AED, USD. Okay, so currently AED, USD is trading at a resistance level on the weekly time frame. You have a valid resistance right here, and that's where price is at the moment. All right, if that's really okay, that's also forming a descending trend line. So we might just be expecting a decline on AED USD, just like we have, similar outlook on the New Zealand USD. But that depends on a lot of factors because the kind of movement we've been seeing lately, especially due to the FOMC, it's not giving the kind of a pattern I'm actually expecting. But notwithstanding, let's just keep our fingers crossed and watch what evolves. I can't see a second trend line to draw up there. Let me go to 4 hour. Okay, I think it works better on the 4 hour. It's not looking like what I really will want. But notwithstanding, we might be expecting a decline on AUD USD, all things being equal. Now, to be honest, some of these breakouts may not happen today as with what I'm looking at, but let's just take note of some of these, especially the ones that have to do with the dollar, the New Zealand USD, AUD USD. It will depend a lot on a massive volatility in the market. But notwithstanding, let's take note of them and let's watch and see what happens in the course of the day. So finally, I'll turn to the GBP JPY. Now for GBP JPY, price currently is last night price actually hit a support, a support tone resistance on the daily time frame, but currently price seems to be, moving above that level. Yeah, I've always said it that the long-term movement for the JPY PS is bullish, so we had a decline in between, but maybe the bull is about to set in, though I'm trying to look out for a possible trade setup here, either bullish or bearish, but I don't seem to be having none at the moment, except for a minor support here on 4 hour, which personally, I don't think I want to work with. Okay, the only thing I can say for now on the GBP JPY is this. Well, we're having what looks a little like a head and shoulder pattern here. If this works out, we may be expecting a decline on GBP JPY. That's if it works out. And but to be honest, a lot of things is not working as I expect on this instrument. So I will advise that person, if you can get another instrument to trade, please do. It's not mandatory you have to trade the GBP JPY. It's not a lot of clarity is not setting in at the moment. But if at all it works out, we could have a head and shoulder, which may give us a bearish breakout with supports, okay, with a resistance rather on 4 hour time frame. You can watch out for that. You can watch out for a possible bearish movement. It's not guaranteed though, but if it does work out, all well and good. All right, so that'll be all from me this morning. Okay, Bara, good news. What is the relationship between data analysis and FX trading? Is the knowledge of each, I believe you are saying that does the knowledge of each of them, help one another? Definitely. The only thing is that with data analysis, I study data analysis myself, and I'm still trying to get time to to match the two together. It's a function of, putting data together and looking at the relationship between past data as it affects the future direction of the market. So if you're there, your data analyst, you can do a research on that. You understand? Let's say, for example, in fundamentals, you can go over to a site like a Forex Factory and look at past data of fundamental events of each of these currencies, and you can use whatever you discover about the past data to predict the future direction of the market. When it comes to currencies, when it comes to technicals, for fundamentals, the data are there. For the technicals, it may be a little bit sensitive. I'm still trying to look at the best approach for that personally. I'll try to create time to do that. But you can't deny the fact that data analysis is really taking over the whole world. Every sector has data analysis, and truly, you can use data analytics or data analysis to predict, for every sector globally, including the financial markets. Yes, we can predict the future direction of stocks, currencies, indices, commodities, and all the rest with data analysis. You just need to do the right research and get the right data that can give you, the answers to the question you are asking. So for a field like data analysis, it's always research in motion. So you have to keep researching to get the best, so you can go online to a site like YouTube and get videos on how to use data analysis, to predict the future direction of the financial market. And you can be specific: stocks, currencies, cryptos, and other assets like that. GBP JPY and GBP USD. I'll just give you my view on GBP JPY. All right, now I just observed something. The reason why GBP JPY is buying now is because of the news. The GBP news that happened 7 o'clock. That is what is pushing GBP JPY. So a reversal, I really don't know if it's going to reverse, but as per Bull, it's buying because of the effect of that news. But that news actually came out greater than the forecast, and that is pushing price on all GBP pairs across board. So I believe same thing also is happening to GBP USD. Yeah, you can see GBP USD likewise is buying, because it's because of that news. Because of that news. So I don't want you to take any trade on the GBP pairs for now. Let's wait, let the market calm down. So someone will ask the question, can I still enter a buy? It did not enter at 7 p.m. At 7 a.m. when it happened. This is 8 a.m., 1 hour after. For me, I don't think it's right. As long as you don't really have a valid reason now to enter, just leave it. We'll get a clearer trade later on. And I've analyzed many instruments, both my own personal analysis and the ones people have requested. That can just be enough for you to know where the market is going for now. Though I just need a little clarity. One that I know may keep going higher is the GBP AUD. But today being Friday, I also want to be a little bit cautious. But then for GBP AUD on the 4-hour time frame, let me start from the daily. From the daily time frame, this is my view. I was analyzing this to some people yesterday. We have an uptrend line there on the daily. We have a rejection candle. So technically, we should have a bullish movement on GBP AUD. And if you flip down to 4-hour, we can see that we have a falling wedge. Now the news has pushed price. Price is going higher. Do I say we should be careful because there's a minor resistance here? So the fundamentals can override it too, but for me, I want to wait a little. And RSI just crossed above 55. So if price can be sustained above this line I just drew, which is the new resistance level, then we'll see a further bullish breakout. And that is still possible, even if not today. It's a swing setup. So you are there, you're a swing trader. There's something to watch out for on GBP AUD. Now, if price does not break above this resistance level, this is what will happen. There will be a decline. Price will come back to retest the trend line and break out later on, maybe next week. But that would be a perfect breakout because it will have ended up forming an inverse head and shoulder, and that will push price up. So if you have missed the breakout on the news, I tell you, there's no need to worry. There will be another opportunity. Just wait. If it seems to be pushing above that level, if it closes by 10 o'clock above this resistance level, you may still enter a buy. But I should also let you know that even if you enter a buy today's Friday, later on, there will still be a decline because volatility will drop. So for me, I will just try to technically wait for a decline, which is a retest of the trend line and a breakout upwards. That for me is going to work better. All right, so that's going to be all from my end this morning. Please trade safe and have a great day ahead and also a nice weekend ahead. Bye-bye.